Hello, and welcome to another edition of Casual Learning. I'm your host, John Bannon. I'm going to go over chapter 10 of my newest book, God in Our Superdeterministic Universe, the number one argument for the existence of God. My book is available on Amazon Kindle. Chapter 10 is entitled Say Farewell to Nihilism. Western civilization has been under a dark cloud of nihilism for about the last 150 years. Nihilism is the belief that life is meaningless. The father of nihilism was the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, who published works in around the 1880s. Nihilism has also been supported by physics, specifically the Copenhagen interpretation of quantum mechanics, the idea that the universe sprang from nothingness and therefore it doesn't need a creator God. Um, so, our postmodern secular atheistic society has been dominated by atheism, and as Friedrich Nietzsche famously put it, the idea that God is dead. Now, the fundamental premise underlying nihilism is the idea that God is not real. Without God, there can be no objective meaning to life. Um, and all knowledge essentially amounts to subjective perspective by the human beings that hold that knowledge. So, in Nietzsche's view, everything, all knowledge, is a construct of subjective perspective of human beings, but none of it is objectively real. So essentially, that results in the idea that everybody's perspective is equally valid because none of them are objectively real to begin with. So basically, it's an everything goes sort of philosophy. And that's exactly the sort of philosophy that has dominated Western civilization now for quite some time. Uh, Nietzsche characterized nihilism as emptying the world and especially human existence of meaning, purpose, comprehensible truth, or essential value. Nietzsche interpreted Christianity as merely a human construct based on perspective, which must dissolve, leading to skepticism and a distrust of all meaning. So, Nietzsche's basic point is that because all supposed truth is only a matter of perspective or opinion, then there is no objective truth, and everything must therefore be a meaningless construct. So, Is Nietzsche right? The answer is emphatically no. How do we know Nietzsche's wrong? The answer to nihilism, which overturns Nietzsche, is superdeterminism. Superdeterminism disproves nihilism and completely undermines Nietzschean philosophy. So, if you've listened to my prior videos and understood Dr. Hanson's proof of superdeterminism, you understand that the universe is really a static block reality without temporal causation or continuous causation in physics. And Dr. Hanson's proof is based on Einstein's special theory of relativity, which has never been proven wrong in any instance since its inception in 1905. So, Dr. Hanson conclusively proves the universe is a static block reality without temporal causation. That means, first and foremost, that superdeterminism proves God is real. God must be real because a supremely intelligent being has to know of and understand the advanced technologies and objects in the universe in order to predetermine the existence of those advanced technologies and objects in the universe. Um, Second, all human knowledge, including perspectives and opinions, are predetermined by God to exist in the universe. So our universe is predetermined, and so is all the knowledge of every human being who will ever exist. It's all predetermined by God. All knowledge in the universe is predetermined by God. That means there's no knowledge that is truly novel or new or derives from nothingness. It's all known in advance by God in order to predetermine the universe with that knowledge. So to God, there's no such thing as new knowledge. There's nothing novel about the universe springing into existence at each moment of time from nothingness. That's completely false. The universe is predetermined. It's a static block reality without temporal causation. All the knowledge is contained in that static block reality. It's not being created by nothing. Nietzsche's biggest mistake was in believing that all perspectives and beliefs originated with human beings solely, when in fact, they all originate with God. There's nothing new to God, including everything that every human being will ever think of. God already knows it. Third, the universe did not spring from nothingness and does not unfold completely new with each passing moment of time. Rather, there is no temporal causation, and the universe is a static block reality without temporal causation. The universe unfolds as predetermined by God's plan for the universe. Nietzsche was quite wrong in believing science disproves God. It does not. Rather, Dr. Hansen's proof is based on science. It's based on Einstein's special theory of relativity and common knowledge of the typical quantum entanglement measurement experiment. So, science doesn't disprove God. Rather, science, through Dr. Hansen's proof and Einstein, gives circumstantial evidence that God is real. Uh, Nietzsche said, God is dead, but God is incapable of dying. God is uncaused. Um, because God is uncaused, there is no logical way to cause God's death. God is also divinely simple or without parts. Therefore, there are no parts in God in which you could uh, disassociate those parts and essentially cause God to die. God cannot die. Um, the Bible can't die either. And the reason is God predetermined all the knowledge that exists in the universe, including knowledge about God Himself. It's reasonable to believe that because Christianity has 2.6 billion followers in the world and predominates in terms of knowledge about God, then that shows it was God's predetermined intent that Christianity would explain God's will for humanity. So, why would God eliminate his intended knowledge about himself from the universe? He wouldn't. So, uh, not only is God alive and well, so is the Bible. And the Bible is not going to disappear. Now, because God is real, then the universe contains only knowledge predetermined to exist by God. God is purely objective because God does not interpret anything. Rather, God is omniscient, meaning God knows everything that is knowable. Therefore, God doesn't have to interpret anything, which means everything God knows is objective by definition. Therefore, God's pronouncement of his will and morality for humanity is objective. Therefore, Christianity presents objective morality because Christianity is God's expression of his will for humanity in our predetermined universe, as proven by the 2.6 billion Christian followers. Christianity predominates, and that's exactly what you would expect for a God to give his expression of his will in a predetermined universe. Therefore, um, these Nietzschean ideas that all morals are relative is completely false. Christianity is objective morality. Therefore, moral relativism is not a truth. The idea that life is meaningless is also objectively false because God has given us an objective meaning, being the creator. He can give his creation meaning. And that meaning is presented in Christianity, which is to seek eternal life in heaven. uh, another Nietzschean idea that one creates one's own meaning in life is also false because God has given you meaning in the words of Jesus Christ to seek eternal life in heaven. So, if you want to know about meaning in life and purpose, read the Bible, go to church, learn about the words of Jesus on earth, because there's an objective God under superdeterminism. And it's pretty clear that Christianity, as predominating in world religions, is God's intended expression of his will for humanity. So nihilism is completely disproven by Dr. Hanson's version of superdeterminism. Nietzsche is dead, not God. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that and you learned something. The next video is going to be on chapter 11 called The Greatest Intelligent Design Argument of All Time. And of course, it's going to have to do with superdeterminism, like everything else in my book. All right, take care.